Hello FlossTube, welcome to my channel. Long time no see. That seems to be my mantra. That was 2019, but I'm hoping to change that in 2020. Today is Sunday, January 19th, so Happy New Year as well. I hope you're getting lots of stitching time in 2020. Thank you all for stopping by for another visit. If you are new here, my name is Suzette, Primitive Stitcher. This is a channel that talks mostly about my love of cross stitch with a few things personal thrown in here and there. What am I going to talk about today? Well, I'm going to talk about my finishes for 2019. I'm going to share some gifts that I received. I'm also going to talk about my works in progress, as well as some purchases that I've made, and then maybe a little bit about my 2020 stitching plans. So let's get to it. And I will apologize in advance. I was really sick back in November, most of November, got better in early December, went on a trip to the East Coast, and I think I picked up a lot of germs in the airport, and it's back. So if I cough or clear my throat a lot, I do apologize, but it can't be helped. Before we get into it, I have to revisit something from my last video, which was in October, and I had some questions about a piece that was up on my mantle, and it's this piece. And try as I might, I could not find the pattern for this. I think that I gave it away, which is highly unlike me, but back in the day, I stitched this in, I don't have a date on it, but I want to say probably the mid-90s. And I cannot recall who the designer was. So if anyone knows who the designer of this is, please leave me a comment, and then I can pass that info on to those people who were asking about it. So first, I would like to show you some gifts that I received from some lovely fellow stitchers. Back in late October, I received a message from Myra asking me if she could send me some things, and I was blown away, but of course, thank you. I was not prepared for what she sent. I opened the package and this beauty came out. This is a piece by Tina Wotman, Early Workings, called Elizabeth Briggs. Absolutely beautiful. Her husband made this beautiful frame, and Myra did say that she changed this a bit, but it's beautiful. She also sent me the pattern for it, so I'll show you that in case any of you want to stitch it. And then she sent me another pattern by Early Workings that is beautiful as well, and this one is called the Old Oak Tree. That is on my must stitch list. And as if that weren't enough, she sent this lovely little card with a beautiful note on the inside. And in this box, this beautiful little dish filled with Michigan acorns. So this is definitely going to be in a place of pride this fall. Thank you so much, Myra. I love it all. I appreciate it all. Thank you for your kindness. And then another friend, Laura, of Brenda and the Serial Stitcher. The Serial Stitcher is Laura. She and Brenda had gone to the attic. And she mentioned a project that they were working on and showed it to myself and Heidi on Messenger, and we just oohed and awed over it, and she offered to buy one for us. And of course it was like, that would be great, just, you know, give us your PayPal information and we will send you the money. Well, that stinker, bless her, she sent it as a Stitchy act of kindness. It's beautiful. And I have since gone ahead and kitted this one up with the fabric and call for threads. So, or the threads, I think this is just a partial list of the threads. I only ordered the ones that I needed to complete it. So thank you, Laura. That was so sweet. And I cannot wait to work on that. And last but definitely not least, I received this package and I'm like, I didn't order anything. Where's this coming from? I have informed delivery, and I saw it was from Canada, and I'm like, Canada? I didn't order anything from Canada. Well, Heidi gifted me with a beautiful project bag. Fantastic fabric choice. And can't show you what's on the inside yet, except this, a beautiful little pin cushion, and it has a matching fabric to what is on the inside. So this houses something very special that I will share with you later. So thank you all, ladies. A wonderful surprise, touched my heart. They happened to all come on days where I needed a bit of sunshine, and you guys gave me that, so thank you very much. Next, and I dropped my list, so let me retrieve that. I'll be back. Trying to be more organized this year. So, next on the list is what I finished in 2019, and to the best of my calculations, I finished 29 projects this year, which is quite a bit considering how busy I was this year. What helped that was that I participated in Michelle Rudy, Farm Girl, hosted something called Stitch 9 Challenge, and I selected my 9 early on and got busy with them starting in February, and then worked until I think it was September or late August or early September, and finished all 9. So that really helped me. Out of the 29, 9 of those were from the Stitch 9 Challenge. So I believe 9 of those were from my Mania starts and finishes, and the remaining 11 or 10, no, 11 were just random pieces. So let me start with those random pieces that I finished. And the first one, and these aren't necessarily in order, this happens to be the very first one that I finished, by Shakespeare's Peddler. Sorry. Ginny Bean's Halloween. And you all have seen these in my earlier videos, but I just thought as a 2019 recap, I would show them again. I love, love, love this one. Probably one of my all-time favorite finishes. Then next was also by Shakespeare's Peddler, one called Fracture Bird, which was a very quick stitch. This came with all of the thread, and this is stitched on 32 count willow green. Then I also participated this year in Crazy Annie's auto ship of Annie B's Country Christmas. Sad to say I did not finish very many of them, but the first one that I did was this one, Tree Farm. And then the next one was called Joyful Top Hat. And then I snuck in this one, which was a Mill Hill kit. I think it was just called Fireflies. And this was a gift from Trisha at 3 Hour Threads. So thank you, Trisha. That was a fun little stitch. The next one that I finished was another Annie B's folk art mittens with the little snowman on it. And then a hands-on design stitch over 2. One of these days I'm going to have nothing but a finishing month. I obviously am a process stitcher. This next one was a gift from Rebecca, Hedgerow Stitcher, and it's called Bless Our Home. It's either by Little House Needleworks or Country Cottage Needleworks. I think I finished this one in July. And I used most of the call for colors, but I stitched it over 1 over 2. So the colors are a lot lighter than what they appear on the pattern. And then I finished, this was something that I finished when I went to visit my daughter in Virginia. We had loads of very relaxed watching movies, stitching, awesome peace and quiet out in the country. So I got a lot of stitching done while I was there. And this is called S. Claus by Not Forgotten Farm. And this is stitched on Weeks Dye Works linen, called Linen, but I did an over dye on it. And I think I'm going to go back and do a little bit of either back stitch or an overstitch on his eyebrows and mustache because they're not showing up very well. And I did change his skin color because what was called for was just too dark to me. Then I finished, well, I didn't finish this. I finished this before I left. I think this was started in 2017 maybe, or 2018. And this is called 3 Black-Eyed Susans by With Thy Needle and Thread, Brenda Gervais. And I don't recall what fabric this is on, but if you really want to know, I can look that up. She was a sweet little stitch. A lot of purple bee stitching than that. Another one by Brenda Gervais was Ode to the Ort 2. and I have it stitched but not finished with all the call for threads and fabric. I do have one finished, and I currently use that to keep my ords in. This one is by Pineberry Lane, and I'm not going to be able to remember. Oh, Christmas 1878 is what it's called. A very quick little stitch that I actually finished on Christmas Day. Okay, so I'm going to pause right here for a moment while I go get my stitch 9 pieces to show you. You've already seen them, but again, I just want to do a recap, so I'll be right back. Just kidding. Before I show you my stitch 9 pieces, I do have my Mania finishes to show you. I finished this one over the holidays as well. It is, if you don't watch my previous videos, I did an exclusive Stacy Nash Stitch Mania this past year. So all of these are going to be by Stacy Nash. This one is called Paris Sampler Bag. Beautiful finish. Can't wait to, I am going to finish that into a sampler bag. The next one that I have to show you is called Yellow Daisy Sewing Book. That I will make into a sewing book. And then Halloween Pin Keep that I will make into a pin keep. And this one is called Eliza Ann Pin Keep, and it is from the book Merry Halloween. And here she is. And this one is called, what are you called? It is from the book From Me to Thee, and it is, I did a couple out of this book, so let me find what it's actually called. Schoolgirl Sewing Pouch. Which I will make into a sewing pouch. And then 2 more. I think I did 2 out of the same book. Yes. The first one is called Peace and Plenty. And this is out of the book From Hollyhock Farm. I'll show that in a moment. Here's the piece, Peace and Plenty. Also a pin keep. And then the other one from Hollyhock Farm is the cover photo. And I believe it is called Hollyhock Farm. Yes. A couple more in there I want to do. And here is this finish. And it is like a needle roll, I think. And then I also finished, which I'm not counting in my 2019 finishes, but I'm not doing another video until the 1st February. But I'll go ahead and show it to you. Blue Flower Urn Needlebook. And I finished this just the other day. And I will make it into a needlebook. So those are all of my Mania finishes, plus one for 2020. I have one more finish to show you before I show you my Stitch 9. And this is one that I have been working on for a long time. I think I started it, I should have brought my book over. Shoot. I want to say I started it in 2015 or 16. And it is End of 4 Screw. I hope that you can see that. I did, and this is by Rosewood Manor. I stitched it 1/2, and I changed the verse in the middle. This is a gift for my oldest daughter, and she liked this little verse. So I charted it up and stitched that for her. I am so excited to have this done. However, now that I have it finished, my other daughter wants me to do another piece out of the End of 4 Screw book, which I will do, just not right away. I thought I brought a... Sorry, things are falling. This is the book it's from. And I think I will be doing, if I can find a quick photo of it. Maybe not. Maybe there's not a photo of it. I think it's just a chart. But it's an abbreviated version of the big piece. Yeah, I think it's just a chart in here, not. Yeah, so I can't show you a photo of it. Shoot. Well, you'll see it when I stitch it. Okay, now on to my Stitch 9 pieces, which, like I said, you all have seen. Let me unclip everything here. The first one was by Heartstring Samplery, called Queen Bee Pincushion. Then the next one was a gift from Michelle Hudson called Lady Liberty, and I stitched mine 1/1 on 25 count. And this is what she looks like. And then we have Cherry Hollow Farm by Brenda DeVay of With Thy Needle and Thread. And the next one was a primitive needle called A&E. And this is my version of it. Stitched 1/2 with the Call for Silks, which I believe were NPI. and one that was an absolute joy to stitch, Jeanette Douglas, Vintage Birds. So pretty. Then we have Coffee Quaker by Heartstrings Samplery, using the Call for Everything, I believe. And the next one is a reproduction sampler one called Unfinished by Homespun Elegance. Sorry for the glare. And I'm just going to hold this up like this because this is very thin fabric. And I used the Call for threads, which were just all DMC. I love the muted colors in this. And I'm trying to talk my son into learning how to frame things. We'll see how that goes. Next up was one out of Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher called Sarah Ann Cotty Sampler. It was designed by Kimberly Mueller of Willow Hill Samplings, and it looks like this. And this, using the Call for silks on a piece that I think that I dyed this one myself. And last, but certainly not least, is the My Name is Lydia sampler by Stacy Nash. No, I'm sorry. Where is she? Here we are. Sorry, it's called Lydia Corker Sampler Sewing Roll. And this is what it looks like. And if you recall, the lettering was done over one, which just about killed me, but they took it a little bit at a time and got it done. And that is also using the Call for Silks. So those are my 29 finishes for 2019, plus that one finish for 2020. Probably going to be my only January finish, unless a miracle happens. Let me see, where can I put this? Next up, and I've lost my notes again. Oh well. Are the things that I have been working on since we last met. Once again, Miss Laura from Brenda and the Serial Starter shared something from their trip to the attic, and I had all the patterns, I had the fabric, have had the patterns since they were released. And when I saw what she was showing, I could not resist. This is housed in a Mama Joan bag. Thank you, Mama Joan. I am doing the for the bird series, all on one. And I started that. And this is how far I've gotten. And I'm using the call for threads. So this is what I worked on in late November, early December. I also started, oh shoot, I'm gonna have to go get the other one, on my birthday, which, okay, this is Harriet Salt. Again, a Mama Joan bag. I picked up the kit from Sassy Jacks. I'm stitching it on 46 count something. What am I stitching it on? 46 count straw. And I took this with me to Virginia. I photocopied the first page because I knew that I wasn't going to get beyond that because the lighting wasn't like super good there, even though I took my travel light. So I knew that I probably wasn't able to get much done on this. And I didn't. I just got the A started. However, I think I've lost the book. I didn't take the book with me. I photocopied the first page. I was looking for the book last night. Can't find it anywhere at all. But I'm stitching, like I said, I'm stitching this on 46 count. I don't know what else I can't find. My needle minder. And this is with the Verissois 103 in the colorway what? 681 maybe? Whatever Sassy Jacks kitted up with the 46 count. But I'm gonna have to buy the book again if I can't find it. But that is a massive red sampler, so that just fits right in with the law. What else have I been working on? Well, I have been working on something that does not belong to me. It is the Blackbird Design bonus samplers that a dear person lent me their copy of these so that I could stitch this, and I'm determined to get this stitched up sooner rather than later. And it's this one. And they are from the Loose Feathers books 32, 33, or not 31, 32, 33, and 34. So there are 5 parts, 2 in one of these, 1 in the rest, but this is what they look like. And these are going back in the vault. So that nothing happens to them. So I had stitched the first one and have now, here, let me tighten this back up some, completed the second part, and I'm moving on over here into the third part. Loving every stitch. Can't wait to get it finished. And I don't know what fabric I'm stitching this on. Something dark. I've lost the tag. It might be, oh no, I do know. It's something by Execute Designs. Maybe I have the tag in here. maybe I don't. Oh, I do. It is called 40 Count Morning Coffee by FlossTube. Beautiful piece of fabric. And I will have enough left over to do something else. But I love it. So that is number one on my list to finish up quickly. I have to go get my final piece that I'm stitching on, and I'll be right back. Okay, so if you were counting and making sure that I actually got 29 finishes in 2019, I forgot one, and it was this. It is called Berry Days at Thistledown Farm, and this is the project that I stitched and completed on the call for box for the Midwest Cross Stitch Retreat. And this is by Brenda Gervais, and I bought enough supplies at the time to make one for myself, but I haven't done that. But that was a gift, so I don't have that to show here. Okay, so, oh, rats. Hold, please. So I promised what I would show you that I'm keeping in this beautiful bag from Heidi, and that was my New Year, New Start that Heidi and Laura and Brenda of Brenda and the Serial Starter, and many more of you are stitching along, that we were basically going to start on January 1st, which I did. Again, I was away from home and stitching on 46 count. So I just had a tiny little start, enough to say that I had started. But this is GGR Isabella Fox 1827. And I don't recall and couldn't find my receipt to tell me what fabric this is stitched on, but, and I left it last night mid-stitch, so we'll move that over. We'll loosen this so I can, here we are. I had started, when I started on January 1st, I just did this tiny little piece right up here. So last night I pulled it out for a few minutes and I stitched on over this way. I chose to, hold please, I'm a hot mess, just a moment. Okay, sorry about that. Obviously, my plan for being organized hasn't started yet. I chose to go ahead and purchase all the silks with it as well. So there are a lot. I think there's one missing that they still need to send me. But just absolutely beautiful colors. And I am in compliance with the jewelry. So we have that. I have loved every tiny little stitch that I've made. If you've never stitched on 46 count, and these were my first attempts at it, it's just like when you started stitching on 40 count. It takes a minute for your eyes to adjust, but once they do, it's, I mean, clearly I use a good lighting and my mag eyes, but it's easy. I mean, it's very similar to stitching on 40 count. So that's what is being kept in here. and it's a big girl, so I'm not sure if I'll get a finish this year or not, but I'm gonna give it a good go. Okay, on to my purchases. I'm not gonna go through everything. I went on a fabric buying spree just so that I would have plenty of selection. Oh, I will show you this. When I was in Virginia, my daughter and I also had lots of shopping time. So I saw this at Marshall's. It was on clearance, but I thought what a cute project bag this would be for Christmas. And then we also went into a shop called 10,000 Villages, and this is the year where I'm going to learn how to knit socks, I think. And I saw this bag and thought it would be the perfect little bag for socks. So those two. Again, I'm not going to show you everything that I purchased, but I do want to highlight a couple of things. From the lovely Linda Jo at Pretty Southern, I picked up a couple of project bags. And in this one, I forget, she does her zippers backwards to me. She added a little Ort container with kitty cats, which also reminds me, I totally forgot to mention that she gave me this sweet little bag at the retreat, and inside were several of the little Ort containers, a couple of Christmas ones, and a couple of fall ones. So these are amazing. Thank you, Linda Jo, and I'm so sorry that I forgot to mention those previously. These bags, if you have never had a Linda Jo bag, are impeccably made. And now I can stash a little project in each one. So when I was in Virginia too, we went to James Monroe's plantation called the Highlands. We had previously been to Thomas Jefferson's, Monticello, and James Madison, Montpelier. So when we were at James Monroe's, I found this and thought it would make a cute little stitch up. So that was a purchase. I can't remember if I showed this. I don't think I did. This is the kit from Country Sampler. Hannah Jenkinson Sampler. Kitted with all the called for. Or no, it's not. I think they did a conversion, maybe. With 40 count ale. I also purchased the Jane Marshall 1857 from Hands Across the Sea. Cute little sampler. May not get to it this year, but I wanted to support the cause. I also printed out the one from Sassy Jacks. Okay. I've been searching for this forever. Finally came up on eBay, which I put a save search in for, and needlepoint kept coming up, and I don't do needlepoint. So finally the cross stitch version came up, and as much as I dislike dimensions kits, I'm doing it. It's beautiful. And of course, Charles Wysocki is my jam. Of course, I have another one of his to finish before I can start this one. But of course, this was back in the day before they separated the floss. So I'll have to do that. That is a very long-term project. I picked up a Stacy Nash kit off of one of the Stash Unload sites, because, you know, gotta have my Stacy fix. What else did I get? Oh, I'm going to do the LW motif in honor of Carol's daughter. I have that kitted up. I picked up a bunch of Brenda Gervais patterns that I somehow didn't already own. This was the new release that goes along with Autumn in Amana, so I couldn't live without that. And then a couple of word plays, which I feel like I really need now. And this is an old one, but I just think it's adorable. The finishing is adorable, so I needed that. And I ordered these right from Brenda's Country Stitches site. Sampler Hill, Sampler House, and I got James Stanwick's 1843, again from Country Sampler. I think I did show this on Instagram, but the ABC Club sampler roll, also kitted up. Oh, okay. A while back, like late last summer, early last fall, I had shown you the pieces that I purchased from Hewitt Hill Sampler. Mary Chard, was it? And something else. Well, if you go sign up for her newsletter, you get this free download. Is it Casey? She put a really sweet note in there too. Anyway, this again is going into my long-term, I haven't kitted it or anything, but a sweet sampler. So go support her. She has some beautiful reproduction samplers. And I think that is about it, actually. So what are my plans for 2020? Well, plan is not to have a plan. I'm not going to make too many plans. I will do Michelle's doing another stitching challenge. It's Stitch 10 and 20 that starts and runs from February 2020 to February 2021. I probably will do that. For Mania, I think I'm just going to focus on my previous Mania pieces and try to get as many of those as done as possible. Like I said, I want to get the black, excuse me, I want to get the Blackbird design piece done so I can return those patterns to the very generous owner of them, who's not rushing me. I'm rushing because I have a fear that Morris is going to somehow find them and eat them. That's my main plan. Otherwise, I'm just going to choose 10 probably of my already started, mostly. Maybe add 1 or 2 new pieces in there. That Mighty Oak one from Early Workings. And maybe another one. I haven't decided on what the other one will be. Oh, I also, because they're so beautiful, I went to see Madonna at Sampling of Memories and picked up this little guy and this beautiful little house. And then this one says Stitching Mends the Soul. So thank you, LaDonna. You do beautiful work. Okay, friends, I think that's it. Like I said, my plans are really not too much. I will participate in Mania, but I don't think I will do any new starts. It's going to be just a previous Mania finishing or attempt at finishing. I will, and some of my Stitch 10 might overlap with those Mania pieces. I didn't count how many works in progresses that I have, because nobody want to know that number. But I do want to get it down just for my own peace of mind, because there's so many other things I want to start, and I just don't have enough space to have that many whips. I have 2 basketfuls of whips. I'd really only like to have 1, just because of space issues. No other reason but space issues. I'm just going to stitch and enjoy with no pressure. I think that's it, but I have no idea how long this is going to be because I had to stop so many times. So we'll see. But I hope you all are enjoying 2020. I hope 2020 blesses you with all good things. And I will be back in the beginning of February to let you know what pieces I have selected for my Stitch 10 and 20. Until then, friends, happy stitching.